Hi friends, happy Monday. I hope you all had a very lovely day today and stayed warm. And I want to give you a tip here before we start cooking. We're going to be doing a cooking video today. And my recommendation before we get started, hi Savannah. She's decided to, help me out in the kitchen. And I want to tell you, before you start cooking and making a big mess, I'm going to tell you to do your dishes first, and that's what we're going to do. So let's get that started. So see, we really need to get this stuff cleaned up. So we're gonna do that first, and then we'll get the cooking, because it's nothing worse than making a mess on top of a mess. So we're gonna do that first. So this recipe is super easy, especially if you've worked all day and you just want something quick to throw together. So you're gonna first boil some water, as you see here. And what I like to do too, before I even start cooking, is to just get everything together. So I'm just gonna show you guys everything that I have out, including the pasta. So we have bow tie pasta, we have chicken broth, we have our milk out. I'm gonna use a little milk and cream. I'm gonna link the recipe below so you can see the exact measurements, because I told you in my last video that I don't really measure everything when I cook. So, and you're gonna have cheese, and there's kielbasa, I'm gonna use frozen broccoli, and I'm gonna cook that up first. And this is Savannah helping me here. So yeah, just get everything together first, my recommendation. And before you even start cooking up that meat, or cook up your onion, I should say, make sure you put some olive oil on the bottom. So that's what I'm gonna do right here, is just sprinkle that on the bottom, get it all ready, get it nice and full of olive oil. I love this little bottle here because it's super helpful. It's always on my counter. I can just grab it, and just make sure you get your pan nice and ready to go. Okay, our water is boiling. It's time to put that pasta in there. I'm gonna use the whole box of the bow tie pasta that I showed you earlier. That's gonna go in here and boil. Don't forget this step. We have to get this into the microwave. I'm gonna cook this with a little bit of water in there for about 5 minutes. So here's the onion all cut up. It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna cook it down. But I just wanted to show you it's all chopped up. We have our skillet over here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on that fire, because you want it nice and hot before you start. So I have it on medium heat, okay? I don't like to cook on high. I only like to boil on high. It's not good to be in a hurry. It's always good to be, medium pace and just going easy. So we're gonna let that, heat up, and then we're gonna go ahead and, cook up our onion in there. And I still have the broccoli going in there, and that's okay if it just kind of sits in there once it's done. It's okay. So we're gonna stir the pasta, and I just wanted to show you, each step of how I do this and how easy it really, really is. So yeah, here we go. So here's Savannah. She's just stirring up the onions there, just kind of, getting them brown. You can add just a little dash of brown sugar if you wanted to caramelize it, make it sweet. But for this recipe, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just going to just kind of cook up that onion down a little bit. And while she's doing that, I'm stirring the pasta still, because we want that to be nice and cooked. So
you can do this on your own.
Yes, you can. Savannah likes to help me in the kitchen, and I think it's great. So there we go. And while she's cooking that up, I'm gonna cut up this kielbasa right here, and we're gonna end up cutting this up, like I said, and then add it to the onions there. So that's our next step. So Savannah, how is it looking? It's looking like it's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, but it's like not fully cooked yet.
That's okay. It doesn't have to be cooked fully. Now we can go ahead and add our kielbasa to this mixture and start stirring, okay?
Yep.
So now this is looking pretty good, and our pasta's done. And I measured out the milk and cream, although the recipe says cream, but I use a little milk in there. So it's about 1.5 cups there. So we're gonna put the cream and milk and the pasta right in this pan here. And Savannah's gonna stir it real nice for me. So we're gonna go ahead and just plop that right in there like that. I put the flour in already, by the way. It's like 2 tablespoons of flour. Like I said, everything's in the recipe too. So go ahead and pour that in, Savannah, the cream and milk there. Perfect. And then we're just a little bit at a time. Yep. Go real slow. Yep. And then we'll end up putting that broth in a little bit later here, okay? So stir that up. So now we have our spices right here. And I told you before, I personally don't measure, but this is just all of them right in a bowl. And I might add more as I go, but the exact measurements are in the description. Okay, so now we're gonna add the broth. Now that I would measure out because your liquids, you don't want it too thick or too runny. So I would measure the broth and the liquids for sure. So I'm just gonna pour this right in here. And then I'm gonna eventually add in the broccoli too, okay? And then I do the cheese at the very end. So now I just added the broccoli, and just one tip, I know y'all are smart, but just in case you forget, make sure before you dump your broccoli in here, when you take it out of the microwave, get that extra water out of there. You don't want to add water to this because you already have liquid in here. You want to not have this so liquidy. So you're going to keep stirring this and stirring this. And as you go, if you want to turn your heat up a little bit on it to speed things up, that's fine. Just keep watching it. And then if you have to, you can always add a little flour to thicken things up a little bit more. And like I was telling you before, I do not measure my spices out. I like to add extra. So feel free at this point to add a little extra. Be careful on the salt, especially if you're watching your sodium levels. You don't want to add too much salt, but like pepper and your spices, no problem with that. So just keep stirring at this point, and we'll get to the cheese here very, very soon. So another tip that I have for you is when you open your chicken broth and you don't use it all, make sure you put a date on that. So that way you know when you opened it. And look at Savannah's doing a great job. She's just cooking away. We've loaded our dishes as we've been cooking because that way our kitchen's not a hot mess after we're done cooking. So make sure you keep loading when you are cooking. It'll make life so much easier. We're going to be adding the cheese here in a minute. And are you getting real warm, Savannah?
Yeah.
Here, we'll turn the fire down a little bit. That's why I always keep it on medium. So there we go. We'll just turn that back down. And our favorite part's coming up where we add the cheese. Yeah. So we have 1/2 cup. No, I'm so sorry. 2 cups of shredded cheddar.
I prefer the extra white cheddar cheese from Great Value.
Yeah, you like that, don't you? And then this is the Parmesan cheese. And that I put about, not a 1/2 cup, excuse me, a cup of that in there. So yeah, we're gonna put this right in there and mix that all together. So here it is, it's all done, nice and creamy. And adding the cheese at the very end was so worth it. So make sure you do measure those ingredients out. The only thing that you don't have to worry about measuring as much is the spices. Except for your salt, of course, because you don't want anything too salty. So Savannah finished it, and she's going to taste it for us and let us know what she thinks. And how is it? What do you think? Yeah, because I've made this before, but a little different. This is a little newer recipe. So yeah, good job, Savannah. So thank you for cooking with us today. We hope that you liked this video. Please leave us a comment if you have any questions on how to make this. Please let us know. And we've had such a blast doing this video for you. We really did. So thank you so much for being here. And just leave us a comment. Let us know. And hopefully this was easy for you step by step. We really love it. It's super easy, nice on a cold night, and very, very economical. So let's get to dinner time. Thanks again, friends. And remember, God loves you.